YouTube. Today I'm showing you guys my brand new settings to use here in season 4. These settings right here are going to help you guys be the best at the game, give you guys the best graphics settings so your game overall looks better, and of course just showing you guys the things that make me the player that I am. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe. Let's hop right into these settings for season 4. So starting off with the graphics setting, but before we do hop right into this, of course I do play on PC. I'm not on console. I have a 3090 in my PC as well, so 3090 Ti, my fault, one of the top of the line graphics cards in the game. For the display settings, for display mode, if you are playing on PC, we're gonna put on full screen exclusive so you can get the maximum amount of frames. For the display monitor, whatever your monitor is, it'll have whatever numbers that it will have here. That's my monitor numbers, so that's the numbers that it does show. Display adapter, like I was saying, my 3090 Ti. My monitor refresh rate is going to be on 240 hertz. Basically, if you, I'll get to that in a second. And also my display resolution is on 1440. But if you are not playing on 1440 and you're still playing on 1080, you need to get a 1440 monitor. The difference just of like how smooth the game is, especially if you have like a high amount of hertz like I do, the game is a lot smoother, it looks a lot better, and there's a difference. Once you go to 1440, you'll never go back to 1080. That I can guarantee you. It's a little pricey, but it's definitely worth that price. So I definitely suggest that you guys invest in a 1440 monitor. That's just me though. Aspect ratio is going to be on automatic. The reset shaders, that's like a default kind of setting that came with the game. Nothing too special here. Display gamma, that's going to be on 2.2 sRGB. Brightness set as default to 50. Didn't touch that at all. We have the NVIDIA reflex low latency is going to be on. We have the sustainability tab right here for echo mode. We have it on efficiency, which I really don't even know what this really does. It's just something they added to the game. I just kept it just like regular. For the VSync gameplay, we had that on off. VSync menus also 100%. That's something default to the game. Custom frame rate, basically I have this all maxed out except for whenever we are in the menus. For the menu render resolution, we have the optimal. Pause render, that's off. Focus mode is going to be on 0. We have the HDR off because HDR really doesn't make the game look too good in my personal opinion, so we definitely did just turn that off. Now for our quality tab right here, our graphics preset is going to be set to custom because we did change a lot of these settings. My render resolution is going to be set to 100. Yours might be different depending on the monitor you play on. Like I said, if you play on 1080, you have this thing set to 100. Yours will show 1080, but since I play on 1440 and mine is set to 100, it's going to show 1440. For the upscaling and sharpening, a lot of people go through these settings and put on the wrong one, but the best one you want to put on is going to be the Philadelphia FX cache. This is the best one that you can do, and then once you do that, you crank this up to 100 and it makes the game look absolutely beautiful. Okay, I'm telling you this right now, just take it from me. The path tracing and reconstruction, turn this off right here. It makes the game lag extremely hard. I've definitely had this on before and realized that it was making my PC lag, so we turn that off. For the VRAM scale target, we set that to 70. Same thing for this variable rate shading, we have that off. That's pretty much set to just default. For the detail and textures, we basically set everything to low because it's Call of Duty. You don't need to have everything cranked up to the max. So you have this set to low. You have the texture filter, that's going to be normal. Depth of field, make sure you turn that off because at a certain range, the game will get blurry if you do have this on. So make sure you do turn it off so you can definitely be more viable at long range gunfights. The detail quality level, we set that to low. Same thing with the particle resolution, that's set to low as well. The bullet impacts, this is like a personal preference kind of thing. I just turned them off because I really didn't care about that, and that just kind of brought down the frames a little bit. For the precision effects, we also turned that off as well. The shader quality, we set that to absolutely low. I don't think there's a huge difference whenever you set this to high, or at least it's not a difference I ever seen before, but I set it to low and kept that as is. We have on-demand textures right here, which allows the game to download things in the background, but also does not affect your gameplay or like make the game lag at all. It just makes the game look a lot better. You have this on right here, and we set everything right here to just default to how they literally just gave us this setting right here, and I just left it as is. Same thing for the local texture streaming quality, we set that to normal. Now for the shadow and lighting, shadow quality and screen space shadows are both going to be set on low. For the ambient collision, we set that to both. The screen space reflection, we set that to low. Static reflection quality is also on low. Environment for tessellation, we set that to absolutely near. Volumetric, we set that to low. Same thing with the deferred physics quality, that's on low. Same thing with this weather grid volume and water quality, set that to low and basically off. Honestly, with these settings right here, you don't need to have these cranked. It's just basically water and just how the game looks in terms of like the sky and stuff like that. You don't want that cranked too high to make your PC lag or just have less frames just because of water. For the view tab now, of course, for the field of view, we set that to absolutely 120. The ADS speed, field of view is going to be unaffected. 120 affected is the best that you can run in the game, in my personal opinion. It also does eliminate any sort of visual recoil that you could have possibly had on any gun in the entire game. Weapon field, that's also set to wide. It also just allows the weapon to be a lot smaller. In my personal opinion, it also does remove visual recoil as well. For the third person field of view, we set that to 90. That's default. Same thing with the vehicle field of view, that's also set to default as well. Now for this camera tab right here, this is kind of an important tab right here. You want to make sure you have world and weapon motion blur set to off. And if you have any of these settings on, no matter what you do, at some point the game will look absolutely blurry. So make sure you have both of these off so your game does not look blurry. Same thing with field game as well. It also makes the game look a lot more staticky. So we're going to set this to off so your game does not look staticky at all. It makes it look a lot more clear. And for these last couple of settings right here in terms of first person and third person, these all set to just default. The only thing I did change on here was going to be inverted flashbangs. For the audio tab right here, I'm gonna go through this thing pretty quick because a lot of these settings right here are just based on what's plugged into your PC. Only thing I really did change on here was going to be the audio mix. I just set it to headphone bass boost. Is the best one that you want to run in the entire game. It literally allows you to hear everything that's going on in the game, so make sure you set that to headphone bass boost. For the master game audio, of course, we set that to 100 so we can hear every single thing in the game. And a lot of these other settings I just turned down because I just didn't care to hear them extremely loud, or just didn't care to hear them at all. Voice chat volume, that's pretty much set to default. A lot of these, like I said, are set to just default into what you want to hear and what's plugged into your PC. So I'm just going to just scroll through all these as much as fast as possible. And only thing I did change on here as well is going to be the hit marker sound effect. Set it to Modern Warfare, or you can change it to classic. So like basically whatever you find more satisfying, you can do that. So for the interface tab right here, like I said, a lot of these are also default to how you want your game to look. I'm gonna just scroll through these right here. The only thing I did change on here as well is going to be the custom color. The color customization tab in this game. A lot of people tell me that they don't like my colors because it just confuses them, but I'm gonna be honest with you, I really don't care because this is how I want my game to look. So you can literally change these colors to whatever you want, to however you want. You can even create colors on here as well. Look, where's that? Yeah, custom color. You can literally create whatever color you want in this. So I just changed it to what I want, what I like, and I kept it as that. You also can do the same as well. I don't have any color blind settings on, so if you think I did before, now you know I don't. I just simply just went on this color customization tab and just changed these things to literally whatever I wanted them to be. For the hub tab, we keep that basically default. I didn't change any of these things at all. The minimap rotation right here, you make sure you have this on square because square allows you to get more information than the circle map. Minimap rotation, you make sure you set that to on. Horizontal compass, that's also a personal preference kind of thing. I've been turning that off. I really didn't care for it. The crosshairs, make sure of course you do have that on, but make sure you put on the center dot. Center dot is like the best one because if you have it on the regular like whole like 4 things right there, as you can see on the right, that shakes a lot and they definitely can mess up your centering. So just put it on center dot because center dot is a lot more still, or it is still. And we did set it to these largest settings as well to make centering a lot easier on this game. Another thing with these settings right here, we'll make sure you have the player names on full names because this allows you to see people at further ranges and get a lot better mobility at further ranges. It also makes long range fights a lot more easier. And a lot of these settings right here are just set to just default. So however you want your game to look, and of course whatever you want to pop up on your screen. But we also did change the telemetry tab customs right here. We only have 3 of these settings on, which is going to be FPS counter, server latency, and packet loss, which is the stuff that we have on the top left of our screen. So now onto the controller tab. Before we do hop into this controller tab, I do have a Scuff Impact PS4 controller. I have 2 paddles on the back. My right paddle allows me to jump and my left paddle allows me to melee. So just keep that in mind. I do have a Scuff controller. Obviously my input is going to be on controller. For the button layout, we have this set to tactical flip. Tactical just allows you to slide with R3 and mainly with circle. I've been using this ever since Black Ops 4 before I even had a Scuff. Which is what I'm a lot more comfortable with. It also makes movement and just slide canceling a lot more easier. Of course, it is on flip because we did change the flip setting so we can shoot with R1 and L1. Like I say every time, I'm going to appreciate every time. Shooting with R1 and L1 is the best thing that you can do in this game. And if you don't have a Scuff controller, that's probably the best time you can do it because you won't have like the digital click buttons like I do. But if you use R1 and L1, you can shoot a lot faster than with R2 and L2, just so you guys know. State layout is going to be on default. Controller vibration, you keep that off. We are non-controller vibration gang. I don't know how people play with that on. It just feels very weird to me. Now for my dead zone right here, you have this set to just left stick is going to be set to 5. Same thing with the right stick. You can also test this because dead zone is just basically how much stick drift you have in your controller. Obviously, as you can see, my left stick has a lot of more stick drift, so I probably should, you know, add more to it, but clearly I haven't. I just left it to what it was. I don't want my controller to be very, very stiff, so just be cautious with how high you are putting your dead zone. But you can just test it right here, so you can definitely not have as much stick drift like I do, or just how bad your controller really is. So for the sensitivity tab, you set these both to 7.7 for horizontal and vertical. You can press square on these settings and you can change this advanced settings right here, but the actual way to do it is go to custom and set it to 1. Usually it's default to 120, which is insanely quick. So you're gonna set this to 1, then you can put back on your actual setting that you want to put in and locks it, so you can't change it at all until you go back to custom and redo it. And a lot of these settings right here are going to be set to just default to 1, because I didn't change any of these settings at all, except for my aim response curve type, which is dynamic. Literally, dynamic aims for you. It's the strongest aim assist in the entire game. If you aren't using dynamic, you're definitely missing out. So definitely hop on the dynamic wave and just absolutely go crazy with this setting. But yeah, a lot of settings are just default. I'm just going to scroll through because I didn't change any of these settings at all. These are all just pretty much set how the game came and what I just left default. Now for the gameplay tab as well, I didn't change a lot of these settings either. I have one automatic tactical sprint because 1, I don't want to break my controller in too much, and 2, I don't want to hurt my thumb as much by just spamming the left stick button. So automatic tactical sprint just comes in clutch. And honestly, it kind of makes my movement more smoother in my personal opinion. So that's just what I truly just enjoy. And all these settings right here are default except for my slide behavior, because I do play on slide only. I don't care the dolphin dive. And plus, when you have slide only, it makes slide canceling a lot more smoother because your character isn't trying to do another third movement if you hold on the button for too long. So slide only is definitely the best thing in my personal opinion in this entire game. So we're going to scroll through here. I didn't change any of these settings. A lot of these are just going to be set to just default. Yours might be kind of different in terms of the tap to reload if you play Warzone, but a lot of these settings are just default. I didn't change any of these settings whatsoever. So there's going to be my settings here for Modern Warfare 3 Season 4. If you did enjoy, don't forget to drop a like on the video, subscribe if you are new. I want you guys to comment down below what's your sensitivity here in Modern Warfare 3. I'll see you guys in the next one.